Hey guys, and welcome back to World War II Solitaire board game channel and another video here with Achtung Jabo, designed by Thomas.
Hey, and I'm here to help you through your first combat.
Sounds good, because I'm nervous. We haven't really, or maybe I shouldn't draw you into this. I haven't done a good job. I only shot down one friendly plane. So now it's time to redeem myself. We have a juicy target here, but there's also going to be flak.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially can be heavy flak. They're probably light flak. And these are the targets that we have at this site. We've already rolled their accurate targets. We've got 4 Stug 3s, Sturmgeschütz, 4 rail cars, 2 flak wagons. So we know there's going to be light flak here, just the flak wagons. We know about those. There may be additional light flak, however. We've got the 8-wheeled armored cars, Wehrmacht infantry, and a whole bunch of trucks. Mm-hmm. This is, of course, the rail yard at Villedieu-les-Peuls.
Yeah, Villedieu-les-Peuls. Oh, I kind of learned it.
You can say it better than the Allied fighter pilots of the day. They probably would have pronounced it Villedieu-les-Peuls. But anyway, you know, Americans being Americans. Yeah. We should go ahead and start it with the way we do it. And now, mind you, Daniel has not read the rules.
Yeah.
So he does not know anything. We're literally, rather than reading the rules and consulting page 15 and all of that,
just jump
this
into
game
it.
is so intuitive and straightforward. The phases of play, the SOP, is along the top of each type of target. So on a secondary target, for instance, at the crossroads in Veer, you have a different SOP, which reflects this kind of target. And again,
so we skip the one because it's white, right?
Nope. We begin in the first round, all of the white ones are played.
Okay.
So place the targets in the zones.
Yes.
Now this is done with what are called the placement triangles. Each zone has a placement triangle. And you have the targets are always the upper right triangle. The heavy flak is the left triangle. And the light flak is the lower right triangle. You can see here that light flak is probably going to be more commonly down in zone 5, 6, or 7, 8. Heavy flak is going to be more in 1 or 2, zone 3, 4. Yeah. So we're probably going to see more heavy flak here. We're going to see more light flak in here. These are placed as targets, however, and the targets are placed pretty evenly toward the top. There's no targets here ever going to be placed. And you're going to have some targets here. So most of it's going to be in the top. Heavy flak defending the targets on this target area.
So since you're kind of the game master, I'm going to let you roll for the placement of the targets.
Well, it's a lot of targets to place because we're on a heavy thing. What should we place first?
Let's go with the small stuff first. So the rail cars.
Well, let's start with the rail cars.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you should roll them.
All right.
Hold on.
So we need 4d6.
Why don't we just do it 4 at a time?
Yeah. So we got that's a lot of 3s.
That's a lot of 3s, but this happens.
So they all go into
gather together.
Zone,
targets 3 to 5, it goes in zone 3. So let's place 3 of the rail cars. You can line them up.
Can I just put them like on the map? Like
Anywhere in the zone is fine.
Okay.
I usually like to put them all horizontal, but you've got 3. There was one was in a 4, wasn't it? No, they were all in the same target.
3 and 4. Yeah, because I got 3 3s and 1 4.
Okay.
And then let's do the infantry.
Yep.
1 and 2, so they also go in the same.
They go up there. Yep, that's good.
And then we have the
trucks.
Are they Pumas?
They're the 8-wheeled armored cars.
Yeah, I think they're called Pumas, aren't they?
Pumas, yeah.
Let's roll for them. 1 and 4, so they split up.
Yep.
And then let's do the flak wagons.
Flak wagons, oh yes.
2 and 4. So they also split up. And then let's do the Opel trucks. So I need 4 of your...
8 at once.
Opel Blitz trucks. Okay, this is interesting. Low numbers.
Wow.
Low numbers.
Unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's so many low numbers.
You were rolling so low.
Yeah, they're only going to go in these 2 areas. So we got 2 1s, and then we got 2 2s. And then the rest goes in zone 3 to 4, right?
Yeah.
So let's see where the tanks end up.
This is really interesting. This is a heavy target.
Yeah. But how about zone to 8? How would they end up here?
Well, if you roll a 6 on the target,
right.
see, 1 or 2,
Yeah, I was
3 to 5,
I was looking at that
a dash,
There we
and
go.
a 6.
So I kind of don't want 6s, I guess, because I want them to be in one area.
You got 4. You only need to roll 4 dice.
Yeah. So let's hope
take these
for.
away.
Would be cool to have them in the same area. Okay, they get divided by 2, so we have 2 of them in here. And then we have 2 in the next area, correct?
Yep, correct.
So running out of space because they're so bunched up.
An incredible thing.
Yeah.
So it looks to me like, yeah, we have a real challenge here. When you're placing your P47s, which is the next stage, place P47s on the grid to the left. You can only attack horizontally in the zones. So zone 1, 2, you have to be in row 1, 2. Mm-hmm. Zone 3, 4, you have to be in row 3 or 4. So there's going to be no reason to put any P47s down here.
Yeah.
Now what's interesting about this is that the flak and the light flak might be placed down here. Rockets can fire into an adjacent zone. So you could place, for instance, a P47 here and fire into, or here, and fire into this adjacent zone with a -2 DRM on your roll to hit. So obviously you're going to want to place them here. Now we've got a problem. There's going to be a lot of P47s all together bunched up.
Yeah, if
and
we
there
get
could
heavy
be
flak.
heavy flak.
Yeah.
And heavy
And we
flak
don't know where the heavy flak is.
It's an area fire weapon. So if you're tightly packed together, you're more likely to take hits than if you're spread out across zones. So this is quite a complex primary target. Every primary target map is different in the challenges it presents and in the way you end up with targets most likely being here. This is quite a strange set of rolls. You didn't roll very low at all. So as a result, everything is up here.
So
that shouldn't have happened. 1 out of 6 of these should have been down here.
So rockets are going to be the best weapon against the flak, right?
Yeah, that's the best weapon against heavy flak guns is probably rockets.
So I'm considering whatever to be a little bit cautious and perhaps send a few of the guys with the multi-roll first. Mm-hmm. And if there's flak in their sector or an adjacent one, I'll go for the flak first. Heavy flak, that is.
Okay, this is good decision making.
So
flights fly together.
Yeah. So the heavy roll ones, they're also the ones that have the highest stats because, for example, Trapper Lead, they have a +3 +3 +2, and the same trademark Lead has a +2 +2 +1. The problem though is if the flak doesn't come where I want it to be, because now I kind of want it to be there so I can take them out. Because if the heavy flak comes here, I am assuming they can still fire on me, even though if I'm...
So now this is an interesting thing. Heavy flak places, this is a heavy flak counter. Let's just say, pretend that it's here in zone 5, 6. So heavy flak fires by rolling 2d6, 1 of each color. So the blue we'll say is the x-axis and the white is the y-axis. On the y-axis you add +1 because he's down here. Mm-hmm. So if I were to roll a 41, it becomes a 42. I would then place a flak burst on on column 4 and the 1 becomes a 2. It would appear there.
All right, so it would hit that area and every adjacent area. So that would be
so if it landed right on top of a P47, that could be quite bad for that pilot. If it lands adjacent to, orthogonally, meaning north, south, east, west, it causes some damage. If it's diagonally, it's a little bit farther away, so it causes slightly less damage potentially. The problem with heavy flak, of course, is these are the 2 counters, by the way, that were collided, so they're not in the game. The problem with heavy flak is if it lands there, it affects both. Mm-hmm. Or, of course, if it lands here, it affects this one badly and this one much less so. So it's an area fire weapon.
But the first strike, will I get to fire before the flak, since I'm surprising them?
If you're firing rockets, you fire them from distant combat on the left side, and you fire first.
Okay.
So you place the heavy flak, you resolve rocket fire, then you resolve the heavy flak.
Okay, so I'll go with my multi-roll groups first, and hopefully I can find the flak and take that out with the rockets.
Now, you could, for instance, just place 4 P-47s in the zones to prepare for the heavy flak, or you could place all 8, both flights. Then you're bunched up. You could, of course, on this flak table, there are potentially only 6 flaked, heavy flak, and so most likely the heavy flak is going to be in here somewhere. Rockets can fire into the same zone or into an adjacent zone. So from here you could fire into here, here, or here. But with adjacent zones you'll suffer a -2 to hit. So if you bunch up a bunch of aircraft, right, you could spread them apart like this, you know, and hope that you get low numbers of heavy flak and some of it's down here and it doesn't affect you. If you bunch everything up together, then most likely the flak is going to be elsewhere and won't affect you.
But if it hits, it's going to be worse.
It takes out more aircraft. Now, one of the tricks is you could just fly, in your first firing pass, you get a +1 to hit as well. You could put everything down on your multi-roll, because the rockets will fire first. Bombs only fire in much later segments, only drop in much later segments. You could, for instance, fire all 8 aircraft of rockets at all the heavy flak and take all of it out, potentially, or most of it out. And then what is placed, okay, maybe you suffer some damage, but, you know, multi-roll, then break off. Now, another trick is, if you bring in some bombing at the same time, the multi-roll fires the rockets, they take out the heavy flak, hopefully. The bombing then continues in and it has its +1 to hit in the first firing pass. So then you're going to have a much higher chance of destroying that. And of course, if you have some heavy flak has survived your rocket fire, you drop your bombs on the heavy flak.
Got it.
And finish that off before the next firing pass. You can do as many firing passes as you want. You can fly with 1 flight, 2 flights, all 6 flights at once. Of course, your top cover flights, they're for defending against aircraft. You've only got target area E and F on the other tables. So to follow this, so you're probably not going to run into too much in the way of aircraft to defend against. And your top cover is still going to be there. You have 3 strafing runs. You could just fire 2 strafing runs with those on the target and then keep the 3rd for potential enemy aircraft encounter. Things like that. There's a lot of flexibility and choices. Of course, if you bunch everybody up here and any heavy flak survives your rocket fire, you're going to take some damage.
Yeah.
Choices are yours. A lot of decisions to make. These are the 2 aircraft that were damaged and were just used for illustrative purposes.
All right, so I'll start with trapper lead. And is it correct they have to be in the same row?
No.
No.
They can be anywhere you want on the grid. Even separate apart from each other completely. If you're on row 1, 2, you're attacking into zone 1, 2.
Okay, so I'll do it like that.
Okay, 2 element pairs.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, let's see here, maybe I should send, can I send, for example, here then B and A together like so?
Sure. Normally they would fly in element pairs. It's optional in the game, but most players in playtesting have in fact flown them in the elements as they are. And often I would see them do this, but yeah. You're safer off in the corners.
I think I'll send my other multi-roll, and I actually think I'll keep my bombers until the first strafe is over, since I kind of don't want to risk them getting shot. I don't know where the flak is. So there might be a mistake because I get that +1 modifier, but you'll never know.
You never know.
No.
So the next stage is we place the heavy flak.
Okay.
Again, the placement triangles, the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
So how many flak will we place?
That's the first thing to roll. if we go to the D tables on heavy flak, target area D on the D tables, rail yard at Villedieu-les-Peuls, Villedieu-les-Peuls, you roll a D6 and
I want
anything but a 6.
anything but a 6.
Well, I shouldn't say that. You want a 6. For a play test, we'd probably want them to have flak. But if you roll a 6, there would be no heavy flak.
Okay.
But there's 4. So we've got 4.
Got 4 flaks.
4 flak guns.
And we roll for replacement.
Yep, each one, wait, let's just grab 4 red dice for the Germans here. We should be using red dice for the Germans, don't you think?
Yeah, seems proper. Okay, so now I kind of want them to be 1, 2, 3, 4 so I can take them out because it's going to be impossible if I put it in 6 and a 5 is going to be more difficult because of the negative modifier.
Yeah, believe it or not, you want them to be in good. You are rolling so low. I've never seen anybody roll so low.
Okay, so we have 3 heavy flaks in this area and then only 1 in this. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got all bunched up there. Let's see if we can take them out.
In fact, what you're doing is exactly right in placing the heavy flak. You can place them anywhere in the zones, but everybody finds that it's much easier to place them along the back edge.
Yeah.
And so now let's roll into the next.
All right, so resolve the rocket fire.
Table E, the E tables I should say. E1 is rocket attacks. You roll a D6 and a 1 or a 2 is miss the target. Now we've got a lot of pluses.
Yeah.
Each aircraft is rolling separately. Now you've got a +1 for your first firing pass and you got a +3, +3, +2. Basically everything you roll is an automatic hit.
Okay, so do I
even
have
to roll them on these guys because everybody has at least a +1, plus the first firing pass is a +2.
And
so
which were a miss, a 1 or a 2?
normally.
And
but in this
everything is a
case,
hit.
with all the pluses, you've got all your
well,
ace
this guy
pilot.
here, he has no modifier.
He's only got a +1.
Yeah, and I have another one in the trademark lead.
So we have to roll over one guy, just don't roll a 1.
Yeah. So do I have to designate the targets first?
So the first thing you do is you define who's firing at which flak gun. And you place the lead, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Again, lead, number 2, number 3, and number 4.
Okay,
Traditionally.
so let's start with trapper lead. And the leader is Wikgren, which is 9QB, right up here. So he will fire at this flak.
And you can place it right on top as well.
Right on top. And then we have myself, and that's another guaranteed hit, and that's 9QA. So he's going to go for the next heavy flak. Then we have number 3, which is Johansson, and he is 4WJ, so he's over here, and he will go for the third flak. And then 4 is Vetter, 8NA, and he is over here. So he will go for
in an adjacent zone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And the problem is though, I think I'm going to change because he has no modifier.
Yeah, I would, you've got another 4 to resolve after these.
Oh yeah, right. So I could fire at one of the targets
you
instead.
fire one flight at a time.
So
and then and by the way, if you destroy this flak gun, let's say you put, let's just imagine you put number 4 and number 3 together.
Yeah.
And a hit doesn't mean a kill. So you might just damage him and shake him up and he can't fire anyway, or you might have no effect.
Okay, so I might just try then to fire twice at once, since one of them even has a bad, he has no modifiers. So let's roll for the Vetter, because he has no modifier, but he has a +1, because it's the first
But
pass.
actually the way it works, yes. So you would normally roll in order by the flight. So the lead would roll first. In this case, with the DRMs, automatic hit.
Yeah.
Number 2 would roll
Automatic
second,
hit.
automatic hit. Number 3 rolls third, automatic hit.
Yeah.
Number 4, let's see.
Yeah.
+1.
A 1 is
You do not want to roll a 1.
No.
A 3. Congratulations,
hit.
you've hit.
All right.
So we've got 4 hits. Now you'll notice that we have hits, just in case you forget. You flip these over and it's the hit side.
Okay. So now we need to determine what the hits are, I assume.
We go to table E2, rocket damage, and we look on the column that says HF 8.8 centimeter flak 36, known as 88s. A 1 is no effect. A 2 or a 3 is damaged or shaken. And shaken, I should say. And that means that they can't fire anyway. And a 4, 5, or 6 is destroyed.
Okay, so anything but a 1.
Anything but a 1, and it's going to be taken out.
And here we have no modifiers.
Yes, and again, you roll in the order of lead,
Yeah.
number 2, number 3, and number 4, which is even on the hit side written.
So we'll start with the lead. You got a
Destroyed.
5, so that's destroyed.
Can take them both away.
And then we got number 2, destroyed.
Nicely done.
And then I think this guy is going to be done for because he has 2 hits. So we'll start with number 3. And that's
Damage shaken.
So do we have a backside or
No,
how do we remember
it's damage
this?
shaken. Just
way
for
to
now,
remember?
it's damage shaken.
Okay.
There is actually a chit which I haven't made yet, which is in the final version, but not in this playtest
In the
version,
prototype.
where it says shaken. So right now we just record that he's damage shaken.
So then we have the 1 more hit resolve. Oops. And it's a 5,
And he's
so he's
destroyed
destroyed.
anyway. Now, this is an interesting thing is of course, the pilots don't know who destroyed it.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, they're sharing credit. Even if we know the number 3's rockets, we're playing the position, where we're overseeing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we know that it was destroyed. By who? But the pilots don't.
So how do we divide
They
it on
fired
the
a bunch of
flight
rockets and everything
And
kind of hit in
blew
the
up.
general area. So they split. So those number 3 and 4 take credit for half a flak gun each, or share credit for a flak gun.
Yeah.
Your number 1 and your number 2 on that card, you can write. Normally we would write it on the
Flight log?
in your pilot roster. You just put a little mark in the little column there, but it's fine. We can just write it right on the flight card. It's a good idea always anyway.
So 1 and 2 got 188 each.
Yeah, 188 each. And for that flight card, mark off the rockets, put an X in the box. They've been fired. They still have 2 bombs, 1 under each wing, and they still have up to 3 strafing passes.
Cool.
A lot of targets here.
And then we have the next guys, and I guess we have the roll to see who gets the kill.
Shared kill. Shared kill.
That's up
So
0.5. Yep.
Yeah. Normally you keep a logbook, what we call the Thunderbolt War Diary at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping these counters of destroyed off to the side
Yeah.
so that we have a record for victory points at the end.
All right. So now we have the next group, which is trademark lead.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to fire rockets.
Okay.
You've just watched these get obliterated as you're diving in, and because you fire 1 flight at a time. You could, all 4 of them, fire rockets at different targets here,
Yeah.
or you could put all 4 rockets on the 88. Sounds like overkill.
Yeah.
Or you could dive in and do bombing, and know that there's going to be one heavy flak that's placed.
I can't bomb if I fire rockets.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you fire rockets, after this we break off.
Okay. So what I'll think I'll do, I'll send 2 against the flak with rockets to make sure, and then the other 2 I'll save for 1 individual tank. That's
Okay. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. All right. So let's place your who you're going to shoot at the rockets. Who are you
I'll
going to shoot?
do the lead, and let's see here. We crossed off Capaldi, so he shouldn't be there because he got.
He was hurt.
I think it was during the takeoff or something, so he shouldn't be there, and that's 9QC.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Correct.
So then we have only. I think I like to gamble, so we gamble a little bit. I'll send 1 only against the flak because he does have a nice. That's you actually. You do have a nice modifier of +2, and then the other 2 guys. But here I see 1 more guy. We have Polter here. He shouldn't be here either. Or did I cross off the wrong guy? Because Capaldi
You
is.
crossed off the wrong guy. It was Poulter who
because I remember Polter and Gregory Smith that hit each other.
So C is gone, F is gone.
Yeah, so we have some fog of war. So we have Capaldi, but that's actually good for us because Pacaldi has a better modifier. He has a +2. Okay, so I send Thomas against that flak, and I'll save the other 2 guys against those Stugs.
So place for number 2 and number 3. Number 3 is Poulter, he's out.
Yeah.
So
and
place your 2 and number 4. Decide your targets.
But I thought I would save to bomb them. Isn't that more proficient?
You can't.
Oh,
the whole
can't.
flight fires the same at the same time.
All right. So I
they
can't
roll
choose...
in hot, and the lead calls rockets.
Okay.
And everybody flicks the switch to rockets, and they all fire. And he calls targets too. You know, aim at the Stugs.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so we roll for the lead. We don't have to, I guess, because that's an automatic hit, isn't it? It's a +1 plus a +2, so it's a +3. And the same for Capaldi. And Walton doesn't have that modifier, so he needs to roll a 1. And that's the 4 hitting that Stug free. So
we have
a 1 is bad.
An automatic hit.
Yeah.
An automatic hit. And let's see if this one hits.
Yeah. Yeah,
And he hits 2. Okay.
So we roll for the damage.
Roll for the damage. Again, a 1
is
what you
nothing.
don't want.
2 or 3 is shaken and damaged. That's not what I want.
Okay, so a 1 on the table is, and there's no modifiers for pilot skill. If the rockets hit, that's where your modifiers are. The same rockets do the same damage whether they were fired by a novice pilot or an expert pilot when they hit. A 1 is no effect, so we have 1 flak gun remains.
So we remove this?
We remove this, and I failed you. I'm the flight leader.
Yeah, inexperienced, obviously. Let's check the Stugs then.
Let's check the Stugs. On the Stug column, on rocket damage table E2, a 1 or 2 is no effect. A 3, 4, 5, or 6 is destroyed.
Right, so we'll start with number 2.
Destroyed. Flip the target over.
Perfect. And then the next one. Destroyed.
Destroyed. You destroyed 2 Stugs on the first firing pass.
That's pretty cool.
Now, we've got a problem. We've got 1 heavy flak gun remaining.
Resolve heavy flak.
So we roll 2 dice.
Yeah.
Heavy flak is quite interesting in the way it plays out. The blue die will be the column. And the white die will be the
And we have no modifier
row.
here.
And we have
Plus
a +1 modifier to the row because it's farther down on the...
So the blue one is this one.
Yep.
And the white is this one. And we have a +1, so it cannot hit in 1 right now. It can only hit in 2 and upwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it lands on top of your aircraft, that's very bad.
Yeah.
If it's adjacent, then it can also destroy, do some damage. So hopefully the flak round will appear somewhere else.
We want a high number with the white die, basically. 2 is not very good. So that's 3, and 4 is gonna hit over here. But I think that's still good. We're not...
That's incredibly good.
Yeah.
We really lucked out because obviously it missed everybody.
Yeah. I'm happy I chose the corners. You were trying to tell me to go something like this. I'm not gonna listen to you anymore. That's a good choice. Okay.
So here's the thing, obviously, if we still had all 4 flak guns, you'd have been rolling an additional 3 to place.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And maybe you would have gotten something like this.
Yeah.
And this one would have affected that one and this one.
Yeah.
This one would have affected that one. This one would really badly affect him and affect these 2.
So let's just, for fun, let's just say that it hit here. Let's just roll to see what would have happened, because then it would affect both of those 2 planes. So first it would hit 9QE, and that is gonna be U. And that's on top of you, and then it hits C, which is Capaldi. So, which table do we roll on?
Table D1, heavy flak damage in the D tables. And a direct hit is in the first column, and you roll a D6, and you do not want low.
I do not want to roll low this time. I'll do my best. 5.
5, light damage and shaken. Light damage, I do not have to flip the counter over.
Yeah, and shaken
and I'm
means...
shaken.
That means...
I have a -1 now on my to-hit rolls.
For future...
For the rest...
Of this turn.
Of
the whole campaign?
The rest of the patrol.
Okay,
until we land.
Patrol. But that's not too bad.
And I can't fly in the afternoon patrol
Okay.
because I'm shaken up.
And then
That's
we
a
have
close explosion right on top of me, and somehow I made it through.
then we have
You can
Capaldi.
picture him being a little shaken up.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He is.
He's very lucky though. He's alive.
Yeah. Now.
You're alive.
Yeah. Now the thing is the flak does different damage horizontally, orthogonally versus diagonally. So in the second column is the very close, within 1 grid square adjacent orthogonally.
Yeah.
Roll a d6.
Okay.
You do not want low.
6.
No effect.
No effect.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Now, had you rolled a 1, I mean, the flak explodes on me, but then the guy next to me takes the shrapnel.
Yeah.
But this happened historically, so.
So I gotta say that I really like the flak design system, how it just can, because even though I'm not really, I don't have a lot of knowledge about air warfare. We all seen these old World War II movies and documentaries where they're sending rows of bombers and fighters, and the flak is just popping up on everywhere, and that's how it feels when you're putting out those flak counters. Yeah. So that seems like it's not only a smart system, it's thematical.
It reflects actually how it works, absolutely. Yeah. And this will be reflected in a future game that is not announced yet, which concerns medium bombers flying over France. Yeah. The 323rd Bomb Group, and with B-26 Martin Marauders. And they will be in formations on a grid. Yeah. And the heavy flak will appear
be crazy.
around your formation. And it can be really bad.
Oh, there's some flak outside here now.
The flak is exploding all around us. Those are sounds of our rockets going off. Yeah.
All right, so let's move up. So we did our flak, we took no damages. Yep. So we have placed 47s in zones.
Here's the thing, we fired all rockets. Yeah. And so we don't have to do that. Okay. We're now breaking off.
All right. So which phase is that?
Everything here has
to. It goes to phase E?
Yep.
Okay.
We skip all of that because we don't have distant combat.